everyone, and welcome back to your regularly scheduled programming. My name is Gabriel. I am the Executive Director and Managing Editor for CavanKerry Press. We are a non-profit literary press serving art and community since the year 2000, committed to expanding the reach of poetry and other fine literature to a general readership by publishing works that explore the emotional and psychological landscapes of everyday life, and to bringing that art to the underserved where they live, work, and receive services. Before the introduction of our readers, I'd love to tell you that we are selling books from all the readers tonight at our table in the back, and also that we will be opening for manuscript submissions of poetry, memoir, and creative nonfiction essay collections for the month of July. So please grab a postcard at our table, mark your calendars, and tell your friends, as we would love to read your work. Now, we have 3 readers plus a bonus cameo from our social media coordinator, Tamara, tonight. And I will be introducing the 3 featured readers in publication order. The author of In Inheritance of Drowning, Dorsía Smith-Silva's writing holds the ferocity and force of the dual hurricanes that devastated her Puerto Rican homeland in 2017. But she also channels that energy into an intense care for all of those who were abandoned by our government during that disaster and many, many other times historically, and channels it as well into an urgent insistence that we respect and look out for our fellow humans. Her book is an essential document on caring for those in crisis. Then we will have Rebecca Hart Olander, the author of Singing from the Deep End, who brings a tender connection to family and a deep expression of love for the kind of friends we hold as close as family to the page. Her keen reminiscence and writing illuminate both an adolescence of searching for self and an adulthood of compassion, and underscore the importance of honoring the people who make us who we are. Finally, Diana Whitney's collection, Girl Trouble, comprised both of personal memories and experience as a survivor of sexual assault, and meticulously researched passages honoring the voices and stories of the survivors of Epstein's Island, is a tour de force of women's empowerment. It is a demand that women's stories are heard, respected, and believed, that those men who exploit women and young girls are held accountable for their actions, and that we envision and build a kinder, safer world for everyone. So without further ado, first up, we have Dorsía Smith-Silva. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabe and Tamara. You've been amazing, and thank you to my pressmates. I can't wait to hear you read, Rebecca and Diana, and thank you all so much for coming out tonight. I hope you have been enjoying AWP. Your support is everything. Thank you again so much. So I'm going to be reading 3 poems. The first 2 are from my book, and this is my book. It's called In Inheritance of Drowning. It centers the awareness of what would happen in a world if we really looked at natural disasters, if we really looked at climate change, environmental justice, and what if we had a world where hurricanes were just something different, something else. So the first poem I'm going to read from the book, it actually opens the book. It's called What the Poet is Supposed to Write About a Hurricane. And if you don't know about a hurricane, you know, when you get the warning, you have the Doppler radar and you see all these colors and these bands. And when I saw it on TV, I thought, you know, if the bands weren't showing that the hurricane is really huge and spreading and dire, it would look like this big abstract art. It would look really cool. And so my husband said, "Are you nuts?" And I said, "But I'm a poet. I'm gonna write a poem about this." So that is how this poem came into its fruition. What the poet is supposed to write about a hurricane. What the poet is supposed to write about a hurricane should be skylights of horror, not skip rocks of beauty in walls of wind, affixed to the puzzle pieces of the vortex eye, spinning like a lost continent soul. How the lively whip should stun the mouths of gravity, hissing without hesitation, engulfing the stench of uprooted dirt and grass. The poet is supposed to decode the stanzas, shudder the name Maria into frail syllables, to wish a hurricane a fast and gritty death, not say its stubborn slow dances, held intoxicating possibilities and mysteries. The second poem I'm going to read is what happens when you lose something after a hurricane. We're not talking about the everyday items like, books are precious, but we're not talking about books or clothes. We're talking about those mementos that you lose and you can never get back, such as your grandmother's photo. Those precious photos, not the ones on your cell phone, but the photos that once they're gone, they're just gone. So I wrote this poem in memory of that. My grandmother's photo. She smiles in black and white, cotton pleated dress with a thick belt, showing her newlywed 25-inch waist, a size 4, long before the folds of stretched skin from 3 children. Her ebony hair hangs in shiny cascading ringlets, held by a slip of red ribbon and crystal combs. Her hand is wrapped tightly around my grandfather's, new gold branding their fingers, paid for by the weight of dirt and hot dawn mornings. With just one day, the rain washes out my grandmother's body and makes her a false whisper upon inspection. Brown dots replace her smile, and her hands are swallowed by dark spirals and bubbles. The thin edges fall into wrinkled tatters, sprinkles of paper breaking faster from sheets of water. The wind pushes her cracked and rearranged beside an overturned car, like a new broken flower in the grave. The last one I'm going to read, this one is lighter, okay? And I think we need, some kind of happiness with everything going on in the world. It's just so much craziness happening. So I started thinking, what brings me joy? Birds bring me joy. I know some people think, well, birds are, nuisances, but birds to me are really lovely creatures. So I started writing a lot of poems about birds, and this one is called How Can Brown People Write About Birds at a Time Like This? Right? How can brown people write about birds at a time like this? Then, when the day is willing to bolster beauty, we surrender ourselves in place. One sun, one sky, then many moons. We are usually happiest being aflutter, turning our plumage against a world doubled over with dimness that keeps coming back. If the trees sink to silence, we expand our wingspan and heap the hummingbird's hymns. If two things can be true at once, then robins lining somebody's hands are not better than blue jays coating the bramble. Time shedding at the lowest speed is not a metaphor or dream. When our faces register even the smallest breadcrumbs of pleasure, how to drape them over where we land. Thank you so much. Hi, y'all. Hi. Thank you so much to CavanKerry Press for helping me to bring this book into the world. It's beautiful, thank you. It's called Singing from the Deep End. It's my second collection. Thank you. It came out on February 3rd. I'm really honored to read with my CavanKerry Press sisters tonight. Thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you to all the other presses for banding together into this amazing collaborative event. My book is in 3 sections. The first section is my growing up place of Gloucester, Massachusetts, by the ocean north of Boston.
And it's coming-of-age poems, girlhood, friendship, a lot of mothering poems with my mom. The middle section is for my friend, my best friend who died in 2020, of over 30 years. Those are called the Jericho poems. And the third section moves into my own mothering, so I'm going to read one from each section. The first one is called Girls I Knew I Was. Snaggletooth girl, strawberry blonde ringlets, cowardly lion girl, gold blouse borrowed from her older sister girl, girl with the in-ground pool, bikini girl, one-piece girl, girl with an oversized tee over her suit, never swam, girl whose arm ended at the elbow, violin girl, pom-pom girl, girl with 10 Cabbage Patch dolls, girl with the pink velour tracksuit with a pet snake, girl I kissed when we played doctor, birthday party at the Roller Palace girl, piñata and donkey tail girl, allergic to nuts, allergic to hygiene, girl with perfect pitch, Scorpio girl, girl with the heroine mother, girl with the sick father, sick like he touched her, touched me. Girl with no father, daisy chain girl, girl with buttercup shadow under her chin, training wheels girl, training bra girl, boy haircut girl, girl other girls threw rocks at, girl who never had to try to get an A, never wanted an A, fast girl, slow girl, girl born a girl, but never really. Adam's apple girl, girl I invited to be my friend. I didn't mean it. Girls who watched me do it from down the hall. Cave girl, fern-hearted girl, bird-lunged girl, girl whose parents stayed together, girl who never wet the bed, girl who deserved all the happiness she got. So this one's for my friend Jerica. As bees. On the 15th day of a fresh year, I lay my body next to yours, before I could never hold you again, before they came and took you away, who was so much and was no longer there. It surprises, every time, the will, how it thrives, then gives over to a readiness to die. Oh, my brave friend, I can't stop thinking of that basement nightclub we found in Prague the year we circled Europe on a train. I wish we could never stop our dancing or disembark. In your final week, I held you as a midwife does, supporting your labor toward the next realm. Talking to you now is like the language of bees. A humming I do, the humming back you do. All right, my son appears just very briefly at the beginning of this one, but this is in the last section of the book. All right. Oh, wait, is that my bookmark? Yeah. CavanKerry Press, you're so sweet. You made bookmarks with all of our books on them, so I'm going to save that. The Mousetrap. I was waiting in line to buy ice cream during a break between bands at the Solid Sound Festival. My son saving our spot on the lawn. In line behind me, a mother and son, which I guessed from his whine at the length of the line, her patience in return. He was maybe 14, but I didn't turn to look. He was telling her that at the protest he went to in DC with his friend, he saw Mark Ruffalo. It was about overturning Roe v. Wade, and the actor was there. I think he's like 55, so he's old, but I mean, he looked really old though, he said. I know, dude, she said. He's getting older. We all are, Mark Ruffalo included. I'm part of the all of us getting older, with her and Mark Ruffalo, and our sons too. Not just in the white hair way, or the scramble for a word way. In the way it hurts to stand all day, at a music festival, even for Wilco, or in line for ice cream, or at the AWP festival. That overheard snippet stuck with me, the way what the nurse told me did when I got my blood drawn recently. Benny and the Jets came on the sound system while she notated my chart. Oh, she said, it's my favorite song, ever since I was 10. Then a whole story tumbled out while she readied the vials and tourniquet. I was sitting on the couch, watching a movie with my mom, curled up in the mousetrap. That was what we called that space behind her bent knees. And that song played over and over through the movie. It became my song, she said. She told me when to make a fist and when to let go. Said she's seen Elton John 22 times. Her kids chipped in and bought tickets to Gillette for Mother's Day, so she's going on his farewell Yellow Brick Road tour. With her, it was the mousetrap that slayed me. That given name for the space a mother's body makes while relaxing, but also making room for her child. How what we hear sticks with us. That little girl tucked inside, face glowing in TV light, listening to the song she'd love most for the rest of her life. Thank you.
Hello, friends. So I'm Tamara Al-Qaisi-Coleman. I'm the social media coordinator for CavanKerry Press. One of our authors, Indigo Moor, could not be here tonight. He's not feeling well. And I'm very passionate about this book. It came out on Tuesday. Woo! Pub day! When I first read this manuscript, it spoke to me as a quintessential American experience that's never talked about, which is the way in which the American military preys on Black and brown bodies. My father was an African American Marine in Desert Storm. That's how he met my mother, who is an Iraqi national. And just seeing my father's life kind of put through these pages, and two people who had two completely separate lives living pretty much the exact same experience and having all of that trauma, I just felt it would be remiss if we didn't have his words in here tonight. So I'm going to read 2 poems from him, and then I will pass it on to Diana Whitney. So, rebirth through anger. I don't remember the first time I was born. The second sang with jet fuel and sea-crested anger. My past hanging and rising, blared like a horn. Fear of violence. We faint, black and white cats circling, not knowing what was said that got me in trouble. My brother calls me craven. My fists are church fans waving off my religion. My brother says I fight this cracker so we can leave. I'm a derelict warehouse awaiting demolition. He moves in like a tornado, raining pain in a hailstorm. I block one of 12. My brother pushes me, relieves me of the decision to get beat up. My eye swells warm as I stagger back to bullseye. Why do my friends want me to get my ass kicked? My crooked teeth glued to my tongue, my nose a cocktail, a blend of blood and snot. In case it's not clear, I'm years from being a fighter. He beats me till I can't breathe, until his father comes and takes him away in tears. In tears, even my brother fled for other horizons. I rise, a wounded sloth, pulling myself free of crocodile teeth. I have no father. I'm no son. I climb in my window so I don't have to sneak. Thank you.
Of the night? Oh my gosh, I'm so honored. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you to CavanKerry Press, to Gabe and Tamara, and my press mates. So I'm going to read 3 poems, and like Gabe said, just take care. This is a book about healing from sexual violence, and I guess I was like, oh, maybe I should just do like fun poems, because there are some of those, but I think I'm going to start with a heavy hitter. So take care of yourself, and if you need to, leave, that's okay. So this is watching Thelma and Louise during lockdown with my daughters. Do they get caught? C asks, wanting to know the end from the beginning. Do they make it to Mexico? Do they go to jail? Do they get shot by cops and cruisers and choppers? Just wait, I say. I've already messed up. I forgot the scene in the parking lot, the predator at the honky-tonk bar, slapping Thelma in the face, shoving her belly down on the hood of his truck, the click of his belt unbuckling. It was 1991. I hadn't been raped yet. I kept the thrill of the open road, Brad Pitt strutting in cowboy jeans, Louise fierce and bold in her gritty bandana, blowing up an 18-wheeler. Now that was power, I thought back then. Do they make it? C asks again. She says the women are stupid. They should switch cars, hop a train, stop calling home to Arkansas. She is sure she could survive if given the chance. A is quiet. Oh, I know, she breathes softly as they near the Grand Canyon. At the end, the green car floats above the earth. Tears trace my cheeks, and I take the girls' hands. Thelma and Louise are holding hands too. This is the only way, I try to explain. They have no choice, not in this world. It's the movies after all. The Thunderbirds suspended forever in Arizona sky. A magic femist ride to the afterlife while we're stuck here on the ground, on the couch, in the house, where it's dark, dark, dark all around. The future pressed hard against the windows. That was the first poem that I wrote. It's the first poem in the book, but it was also the first poem that I wrote of the collection before I even knew that it was a collection. So coming back to it is actually, feels like an interesting full circle. So I'm going to read a poem that the seed of it began in a workshop with Chen Chen, my wonderful mentor, and it was a workshop on the hater poem, which totally blew my mind. It's like an anti-ode, and it was about channeling that same power. And I didn't even know what was ready to come out, but here's what came out. And it's called Hate Poem for Animal House. Frat boys, I hate you in plural, in flannel, in ball caps on backwards, holding court on the balcony, brick kingdom of kinship, casting judgment below. I hate your grand pillared houses of debauchery still standing, prime real estate increasing tenfold, lifelong capital return on your hell week paid out in networks of power. I hate your future sons and their legacy admissions, your beer pong in the reeking basement, plastic cupfuls of beast like primitive foreplay, your private language of excess and domination, chugging and booting and chugging anew. I was supposed to laugh, supposed to feel lucky, appraised by the bouncer dude working the door. Frat boy, I hate you in singular, your gaze up and down me, burly pecs and t-shirt sweat, square jaw of ego, wordless lord of the castle, the unflappable nod, granting permission to cross. I hate your prowess at keg stands and beer bongs, your fleet of motorcycles, your pack of house dogs pissing on the ruined lawn, your traditions alive in iconic movies, and football kids here in town shotgunning beers on YouTubes, like the high school kid who raped a girl at a party and someone filmed it and posted it, But nothing happened. He got to stay in school, stay on the team. Everyone knew, even the principal, a squat former frat boy. Oh, I hate him too. How he patrolled the halls and dress-coded girls, made them lift up their arms and scanned for an inch of midriff, sent them to the nurse for baggy sweatshirts of shame. And I hate the mothers of frat boys, the ones who raised them, the one who told me in earnest, in tears, I'm sorry your daughter got hurt, but I have to believe my son. All right, I'm gonna lighten it up. One of the fun parts, actually, of this book was a series of poems reimagining high school, middle school and high school. And it's sort of one of the things that you can do for yourself when you're a grown-up and in middle age and kind of excavating your own life. So for me, it was going back and kind of writing scenes and scenarios that I wish had happened. A lot of it involved reclaiming my own queerness. So here's what we'll end with. And again, thank you so much for being here tonight. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your AWP. My 16-year-old self makes out with Jamie Rossi. Forget the football team. I watch the cheerleaders. Not their pleated skirts, but their captain, strutting into the pep rally dressed as Axl Rose. 1,000 feet stamped in anticipation, a rhythm building like a distant army marching. Boom, boom, ch, boom, boom, ch. Our buzz stoked to a roar as she entered. She owned the airband contest in pleather pants and black high tops, copper hair teased and spiked beneath a red bandana. I never realized Axl was so pretty until I saw Jamie smile that rock star sneer. She did his signature serpentine dance in the gym, like she was stalking the stage in a screaming stadium. Welcome to the jungle, baby. Electric blue eyeliner fist to the sky. So hot she got to break all our rules. Seniors didn't glance at sophomores then, but when I go back, she always finds me in the dim tunnel to the girls' locker room. She's tall, maybe 5'10", acrobat thighs and gasoline jeans. There's nothing to say. Her hands on my shoulders, walking me back, brick wall, brown eyes, soft mouth like spearmint in summer rain. We're quiet and wild with surprise. She slides her fingers in my belt loops, presses my sacrum flush to the wall, grazes the skin at the hem of my tee. Nerve cells shiver like leaves in light wind. A seed unfurls at the root of me, grows into a stem, twines my body in petals and fronds, lush jungle of hips in unzipped denim. Thank you.
One more round of applause for all of our readers tonight, for Acre Books for putting this wonderful event together, for Nix's Mate, for Lily Poetry, and of course for CavanKerry. Thank you all.